Hi guys, welcome to Windsome Cottage Garden. My name is Hannah and I'm so glad that you decided to join me today. We are in the cottage garden today and we are picking up a project that we actually started in the spring. It should have finished in the spring, but time got away from us. We are going to be doing some more remediation work on our Houttuynia. If you have been following my channel, you've probably heard me talk about Houttuynia before. It is a ground cover, hugely invasive, that when we were installing the layers of the cottage garden. So it's not quite fully terraced, but it has a lot of terraced layers, as you can kind of see behind me. We asked the landscapers who were building it what they suggested in terms of ground cover, and they suggested it. And we rue the day that we listened to them. It chokes things out. It is impossible to get rid of. It's just a thug. It also spreads incredibly easily. In order to really pull it out in one season, what you would have to do is dig down 2 to 3 feet and remove every single bit of root or rootlet that it's left behind. We're not going to be doing that. Instead, we're going to be trying a solarization attempt and then staying on top of it with spraying. Last year we tried just spraying, where we covered it, we sprayed it, killed it, put down landscape fabric, and we put down some mulch on top of it, which I regret the day we did that, but we wanted it to look pretty, and we just sprayed anything that popped up throughout the year. Long story short, that didn't work. And so this year what we are doing, and we started in one side bed already, is we are digging out the fabric because we'd rather not leave it in the ground, throwing it away because it's got Houttuynia growing through it, and then we are going to be putting food grade agricultural plastic down that is quite thick. I'll have to look up the exact thickness of it, but I'll mention it when we kind of come back and show the finished product. We started this, as I said earlier this year, on a side bed where before the Houttuynia really started growing for the year. And so far it's worked a treat. There's one area around a plant where it's come through, and we're going to attempt to, what we're going to be doing, and I don't know if I'll show it in this video, maybe I will, maybe I won't, is we have some really thick rubber gloves. We'll put those on, then we'll put like a cotton glove on over it and soak the very tips in a chemical, specifically Roundup, and then touch the undersides of the plants where it's most likely to absorb the poison. So we're going to be doing that very carefully to not get it on plants we don't want to kill. And this has been an awful project. So we actually started this last night late in the day, so I didn't really kind of explain what we were doing. So we'll insert that footage there and then come in what we're going to be doing today, which is on this side of the bed. Okay guys, as you can see, it is a new day. I'm also testing out a fairly cheap microphone. We'll see how it goes. It's supposed to help with the wind. Maybe if I go like this, it'll help a little bit more, who knows. Bear with me as I'm trying to make the audio sound a little bit better while being as fiscally responsible as possible. I probably won't use this a ton, but only on videos that I think where I'm talking a lot, and having crisper audio might be more desirable, especially if it is windy, which it's really windy at the cottage. It's why we're called Windsome Cottage Garden. And it's proved to be fairly windy in my new home garden as well. So anyway, this video, you've seen a lot of work go into it. And unfortunately, it's not going to be finished in this video. We ran out of some key supplies, which you probably saw. We've got them on order, but sadly, I have to leave. We were hoping to get this done. It's been the 4th of July week. I had a lot of time off. And the supplies really made it hard to do. But I am going to show you where we are right now and give you a couple updates on where we're planning to go. We might get to film them. It's something my dad has promised to do on his own. So I won't be back for another couple weeks. And my brother Sean, who you guys have seen in a lot of videos, is actually moving down to Indiana. So my dad's going to be busy helping him. And Sean has been a great help with this as well. We're just going to have to see how it all goes. And he's not going to be in videos as much as he's done because he has been a huge help, not only in this garden, but mine as well. We're missing him for a variety of reasons, mostly. It's a happy reason he's moving to Indiana because he's moving down to be with his girlfriend. And he's going to find a job down there, but we're going to miss him. So, bummer. You won't be seeing him as often on this channel. I'm sure he'll be up and be helping with projects when he is up too. Anyway, back to this project. Let's go see the current state of things. Okay, aerial view first. This side we got much further along on. Now this plastic is 10 milliliters thick, and it's food grade plastic that's also used in construction and farming. It's like a silage tarp basically. And the roll ran out here. What you saw us doing was really getting all of the weed fabric up, and having the fabric down once we figured out a way to cut the fabric worked really, really well. Thanks to Sean's ingenuity, we used a hori knife, which with the serrated edge, ours is from Fiskars, you can buy it at a lot of different areas. The serrated edge was actually better than even scissors because we were able to like saw through it and get the sections, roll it up. We black bagged it and took it to our local landfill, told them what it was because we didn't really want to put it in the vegetation area, and they took it and did something with it and disposed of it properly. Anyway, so that's what we did with that. We also went through and picked out all the little bitty roots that were left behind that we could. You probably saw us like raking a little bit, so we'd rake like the first inch or so and go around and pick all the bits out, which worked fairly well. And then over here you can tell decidedly where the, oh, it's not perfect because I can see Houttuynia plant coming through, but we expanded this bed on this channel probably about 3 years ago, so you can probably see this line. This is where the new bed was. It had been grass before, and the Houttuynia hadn't made its way over there quite yet. So we want to get this plastic down, and we're going to plastic the whole thing before it migrates. We're planning to keep the plastic down for 2 years and see how it goes. You may have also seen we removed some plants. I think I told you we were going to remove some of them. We removed 2 plants from down here. There was a grass that my dad off camera spent a huge amount of time. He soaked it in water, basically bare rooted it, and pulled out Houttuynia roots. It was a little tricky, but he did it. And then we also pulled out a spirea. I think it was a Glow Girl spirea, but I don't know if we know exactly what it was. It wasn't actually getting that much sun, so it probably didn't love, oh, bald eagle, juvenile, sorry, distractions. It probably didn't love its positioning, but we are 100% certain because it was on the edge of where the Houttuynia was. My dad dug it out and went through and picked out the roots. It is now in our holding area and it's going to be integrated into the bamboo bed when we tackle that this fall. So we'll check back and see where that ended up. You also probably saw me remove a David Austin rose, which I actually planted last fall really late. Like it was end of October, maybe even November. We had a really mild fall and I planted it. And in that video, I actually paused and was like, do I want to plant this here or will I regret it? And we decided that we were just going to go for it and we were going to get the plastic down early. And we didn't get the plastic down early. And so I decided it would be easier to dig it up before it had rooted in and before the Houttuynia had rooted into it. And it is now sitting on a pot on our deck. I'll show it to you probably in a garden tour coming up. Right now there's not much to look at because there's no flowers. But I was able to dig it up the root was fairly contained and dig through any Houttuynia that was in there. I'm about 85% sure I got it all. And so the good news is us having it in a pot will give us that 100% certainty before we plant it. We might even leave it in the pot all next season because we would like it to be in this space eventually. Eventually it's in shade now, but it usually gets more sun. We can probably fit 2, maybe 3 roses here, and then probably 2 or 3 here as well. So it's a really pretty vista and easy to access and deadhead. One thing I did want to point out is some damage we had on this tree that was unexpected. It's a little unfortunate because it's in multiple sides. We had a rubberized mat here, which was an early attempt to mitigate the Houttuynia. And honestly, I think we forgot it was there because it was under the fabric. And it was here for too long. And basically the tree continued to grow and the mat's hole didn't expand. And this is what it did. This is honestly going to severely weaken the tree. And it's good that we found it and got it off. We're just going to baby this tree and hopefully in a couple of years it will heal over enough that it won't be as big a concern, because this is, we call it Molly's tree. It's a little sad. I think it needs some water, to be honest. But it's a really dense, I don't know what kind of Japanese maple it is. It's got a very dense leaf that follows the branches closely. It's got a lot of interest visually and structure. And it's a beautiful tree in the fall. So we call it Molly's tree because my sister's name is Molly. My parents bought it when she went to college. I have a lilac standard. She has this tree. My sister Emma, oh, you actually can't see it because we're working on it, but she wanted a wisteria. And none of my brothers went to college. So my parents were like, well, eventually they're like, you should pick something and we'll plant it for you. One of my oldest brother, Ian, well, he's younger than me, but the oldest of my brothers, because I'm the oldest of 5, said I want a fruit tree. So I think my dad was like, one of the trees in the vegetable garden is yours. And Sean seemed interested in that. So they're going to say the other one is too. That's what these are, Molly's tree. And so my mom really, really wants it to survive. And I think it will, with some TLC. So we did stop it here. We are going to put a ring of drip around it. So, because this fabric doesn't really let the water through, or plastic doesn't let the water through. So what we've done in another area previously, which I will link, is we've got drip around it, and then we usually leave, I'll go show you, I guess. We have a little spot where it pops out that we can quick connect a hose up to it. Here it is, as you can see. The converter from drip with a pressure regulator, and we just quick connect our hose up to it. There's a line of drip right here, a ring around the lilac, and the only other plant in there, which is the Japanese maple, which is honestly loving its life. Anyway, you saw that side and we talked about that side. Let's walk down here one more time. I'll give you a view of the full bed to my right. Pausing to kind of just say, I think it's really strange. These are both Bobo hydrangeas. They've been in this space, I think this is its 3rd year, maybe 3rd season, maybe 2nd. I thought they were pruned the same way. This one is full of buds. This one has no buds. Maybe I came in and pruned this one and not this one, and they grow in old woods. I'm going to have to look and see, watch back my videos to see if I took care of these at all. I might have when I was working on these guys. But it is odd to me that there's only one flower on this, and this one is full of flowers. Even if it was like a sun issue, it would have some. The only thing I can think of is it blooms on old wood, and I pruned it, maybe. But it's looking good. Oops, it's looking really good. That one, anyway. As is this whole bed. So you probably saw, we worked on this earlier this year. The Houttuynia comes up to about here, and it's just kind of working its way over. We had tiger lilies. There's some in the wall my dad is going to dig out carefully in this area, and it is virtually impossible to separate the tiger lilies from the Houttuynia, so we took it all out, and we're going to plastic all the way up to this peony. So Sean did that. We also pruned up the magnolia, so it's looking better. Probably would have been better if I did this without the fence on it, but we had some that were touching the ground that we wanted. We thinned out anything pointing back and kind of created a better shape. So it's still definitely a shrub, but just a little bit easier to maneuver around, and probably better that the plant isn't touching the ground because that's how disease can enter it. This is our beautiful Ann Magnolia that I hope the little itty bitty one that I bought and planted at my house one day looks like. So here's one last view at this bed. I'm kind of looking at what the pathway will look like. We're planning to leave this plastic down for 2 years, maybe 2.5. And then we will kind of probably pick up the ones over there that I showed you first, because that got done early this spring to make sure there's no Houttuynia, and we will go from there. But these are 2 bobos. I'd actually like to put a third right here to kind of complete the sweep. This right here is a little quickfire hydrangea that is just starting. It's looking, I can't wait till it's a little further along and it starts to put on pink color, because this was planted fall 2022 from our plant hoard, and it had looked okay. Last year a deer came in and ate all the buds after it had already set for the year, so we didn't get a show. It's the first year that it's looking this good. I absolutely love this hydrangea and need to get some for my house. But things are looking good. There's still some work to be done, as you can tell, mostly in this area. But that just means there's more opportunities to garden. And I will make sure to bring you guys along for the journey. I know this wasn't as interesting and plant-filled as some of my other ones, but we show you the good and the bad on this channel, and the Houttuynia was bad, and we're trying to mitigate it. We'll check in next year, probably the year after. We'll be sure to check in and show you the finished product if we don't show you how we got there. Thank you for tuning into this video. If you liked it, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe so you don't miss a thing, not only in our cottage garden, but my home garden as well. We document 2 gardens on this channel, and we're going to be headed back to the home garden soon. I don't know if it'll be in the next video you see or the one after that, but it's coming, and we'll be doing some more work there, carving out new beds and doing a July tour to see what is looking good in the garden. I really appreciate you joining me today, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye-bye.